world's greatest mini MPV, mini people mover camper conversion you will find on the internet, the Toyota Sienta. Welcome. This video is not your ordinary camper van conversion. This is done by a very average man with a not so average car. With power tools I barely knew how to use, I converted this mini Japanese imported Toyota into an adventure vehicle. I hope this video inspires you to try your own unique conversion. So thank you for being here, and I hope you enjoy the video. Aha! Unfortunately, before the video starts, you're gonna have to sit through some terrible skits. I really am sorry about this. You are the most perfect, functional, spacious, value for size, fuel efficient car in the whole world. Excuse me, what is that thing? Oh, you want one of these? Well, this is a 2013 Toyota Sienta, 100,000 Ks on the clock. Oh no. I don't care about this car. This is the ugliest car I've ever seen in my life. You should drive this down the road, take a left, take another right, and then there's cash for cars there. They might give you 200 bucks, and I think that's a good deal for you. Oh, I see. Alright, thanks. I only want the wood glue. Can't believe you would buy this thing. Don't listen to them. What's up guys? Welcome back to the channel and thank you for clicking on the video. We've got an absolute blue beauty right here. This is a 2013 Toyota Sienta that I picked up for 9,000 New Zealand dollars. Now this car right here was a fresh import from Japan. I'm the first person to own it in New Zealand, and the appeal is it looks like a Corolla, it looks like a tiny little car, but it's actually a 7-seater with high ceilings and enough space to make a little bit of a camper conversion. So let's check out the features first. Before today we're going to dive in. We need to remove some seats, measure it up, and get a bit of a plan going to build the best small camper conversion you can get. So let's check it out inside. So coming in from the driver's side, we've got the beautiful blue, and you can see that this car is in absolutely perfect condition. If you come to New Zealand or you're living here, definitely buy a fresh Japanese import because they're in great nick. Sitting here, first thing is speedo's in the middle. We've got a nice head unit here. Best thing about the head unit, if we fire up, is she is in Japanese. So coming around to the boot, you can see it's not a very tall car. It only comes up to my chest, but if we open up the back, you can actually see that there's enough boot space in here to store a few things if you wanted to leave the seats in. So the first row of passenger seats here can actually slide right forward. The other thing they can do is slide up like that, bring it there. So we've got 2 seats that you can actually store underneath the middle row of seats. This one lifts up and folds back in, and then that way, now you've got your 7-seater. All you gotta do is slide this guy back. That could have made that look easier. But now you've got your first row seat, your passenger front seat, and then your back seat. So pretty awesome features there if you ask me. Sliding doors on both sides, and nice high ceiling from top to bottom there. That was a really quick introduction to the car, and now we're gonna get started with the conversion. So step 1 is removing the seats. Welcome to the absolute best camper conversion minivan you can get. Let's go. Step one on the van build was removing the back seats. Luckily, they were extremely simple. As you can see here, I just had to take a cap off, and there were two hexagonal bolts that I just had to remove, and then basically unclip the chair, and they came straight out. Piece of piss. So as you can see, I was very happy with that. Step two was removing the middle row seats. I was a little bit nervous that this was going to be difficult, but once I popped the cap off, I saw that there was just 4 bolts on each chair, and they were pretty easy to remove with the ratchet. And pretty much once I got the bolts off, the seats just lifted straight up and out, and they're easy to reinstall, so that was a win. So let's check out the blank canvas and have a bit of a walkthrough. All right, and just like that, everything's all the seats have been removed. So got a bit of a blank canvas here, seats out here. I only had to remove 10 bolts to do all that. The only thing that remains are the tracks that the chairs roll on. I'm not going to remove these, it'll be too hard to put back in, and they don't really take up too much space. With a nice blank canvas, the next step was to measure the platform. So here is a really rough draft that I did on freeform. You can see 107 centimeters wide by 160 would be the main platform, and that's with the driver's chair in the driving position, and then the extra 28 centimeter piece that would be on hinges for when the seats are brought forward to give it a bit of extra space. This will make a lot more sense once we get into the build part, but this is the basic plan in case you want to use it. Alright, so I messed around in miter 10, but unfortunately they can't cut plywood to size, and the plywood sheets, they only came in about 2.4 by 1.2 meter wide sheets, and that would have absolutely crammed in here, so I don't think that's going to work. So after 320 New Zealand dollars and a trip to a couple of hardware stores, Bunnings has come through, cut the plywood for me, and we're all set to go. I think I got everything. I really hope I don't need to come back up here again. But yeah, now we got to drive 45 minutes home, and let's put this. Alright, so here's a bit of a rough layout. Basically, we've got these 60mm thick, or 70 actually I think. Anyway, it doesn't really matter. These are going to be the main 4 corners, so they'll be cut at different heights. Obviously for the front of the van, the front of the floor's lower, the back of the floor's higher. So this side will be higher, but they're these really thick sturdy posts, so they'll be our corners to basically lock everything down. I decided to start with the back 2 support pillars as they were the low-hanging fruit. I re-measured and marked out where I wanted them and got a little visual just to make sure before I lined them up to 30 centimeters as was the plan, and then marked them getting ready to make the first cuts. I had a bit of a dodgy tape measure. Considering it's going to be on a soft surface, I'm actually very, very happy with that cut. After gluing the first support at the back on, or the first supports, I wanted to get a good visual of where 160 centimeters would end up. I didn't have a pen in my ear like I thought, but I found one. Alright, let's go stick them on. There's also mosquitoes out too. What we're going to do, because to really fix these in place, all this stuff is only just wood glued at the moment. To really actually be able to flip it over and put the main long timber screw in there, I'm just going to tentatively put a couple of these brackets in here just to hold it in place. Well, it's better than nothing anyway. I'm going to repeat that for every single one, and then we'll try and flip it over and see. And it's just occurred to me that it won't be even when I flip it over either until it's in the car. Battling the fading light, there was a beautiful sunset. I pushed through and I got all the brackets on. And then it was time to test out the prototype. Single-handedly getting this 20-kilo platform into the back of a van. What could go wrong? Here I come. Is this gonna work? This way, this way, this way, this way. How the fuck am I going to get this out tomorrow? Oh god. Well, the rudimentary test is pretty good. Oh, my back. And just like that, I fell asleep. I slept there all night until the sun rose the next morning, when it was time to take it out and finish the project. Good morning. You're on top of the Sienta, and it's a beautiful tropical morning here in New Zealand. It's about 9 degrees, 8 degrees, and we finished off yesterday with me absolutely struggling to get the draft in the back. So we're going to try and get the draft out now. Alright, first job this morning is to tighten up all these brackets that we did yesterday. Everything securely bracketed down, so these guys are not wobbly anymore. That's all sorted. This is all sorted. So next step is to get a bit more room, we need to get rid of these corners on the back here. So these bits, need to slice them off. I've seen worse. I've seen better. Let's do the other side. I'm gonna file that off and just clean it up. That side's even nicer. After beautifully sanding the edges so it was a perfect smooth edge, the next step was to drill pilot holes for the main timber screws of all the leg supports. Now screwing in the main long timber screws to give the legs support. So you can say this is where things start to get interesting. So this is the, obviously we've got the 160cm original frame, and then we've got this extra bit here which is going to be on hinges. So at night time, put the seats forward, this hinges out like this. So I'm just thinking heavily right now. What I'm considering is the bed frame ends about here, and then the bit that extends out, I've really got a feeling that it's too long. So I think I'm going to have to cut it shorter. That's one thing. The other thing is I'm going to put these, because obviously the bit that hinges out needs some support on the van as well. Needs some like legs, like on the frame. You know what I'm talking about. So I'm going to actually put those legs on hinges as well, so when they come up, the legs don't just stick up in the air like this, they can lay flat. So I'm just considering whether I do one central one, which sort of comes into this bit here, or if probably a better idea is to do two long ones. But after 30 minutes of indecisiveness, I decided to get going with the hinges. So I secured those on and played around with them before very skillfully lining up the hinged piece, as you can see there, before just committing and screwing it in, so I had no way back. Let's see, so finger goes in at this end, and finger goes a little bit less in that end, but I've seen more crooked things than that, so let's secure them down. It's a little bit wonky by a quarter of a centimetre, but she'll be waving all day long. That's hilarious. Alright, so we've got a small update here. We're going to put one singular support because two support, anyway, let's get into it. So basically what we're going to have is this is going to be cut to size, and this is probably going to sit about there. And this is going to be on a hinge. So, except actually, start again. It'll be on this side. So it'll sit like this, like that. And then what'll happen is this will hinge out. This will also be on a hinge, and that will come down like that, and that will sit like that. Now that bit that sits like that is going to sit in here. So then what happens is the bed frame ends here, extendo out, that bit can come through the middle here and land in that hole. Genius. I'm in. Oops. Oh, I love it. How good is that? So it's gonna go like this. Oop. The big reveal. The bed frame's quite happy to see me, apparently. Proper test run. Look at her in all her beauty. Let's see. Oh, she's coming your way. She's coming your way. Okay, false alarm. We're gonna have to redo this because it's wonky. I did not put it in the right spot. As you can see, it hits the chair and doesn't do what we want it to do. Damn. Have we done something stupid? Moment of truth. Oh my god, it's brilliant. It's absolutely... I could cry. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. It is the perfect length. So, let's say we're driving during the day. I've still got my leg room to drive, but then it comes to night time and you got to sleep. Again, you could use this as just a sofa during the day. Bring it right forward, bring her up, extend her out, and then we'll have a mattress that is segmented so we can, also I can build it up. "24 hours later, it was time to go and get the mattresses. So I caffeined up, drank it in one go, and got on the road. We got a bed, baby. It's in the back. Now we just got to put a sheet on it, and then she's done. Now with the custom-made foam shoved in the van, as you can sort of see on the corners there, it was a little bit too big, so I had to get the old bread knife, and cut the edges off so it fit a lot nicer before getting the sheets on. After eating this corner off, I thought I'd show you a slightly fast-forwarded version of how the extra piece would work. So you can see it's just an extra 26 centimeters like I measured, and it shoves into the gap there. Now, let's get some sheets on this thing so we can finish it off. After getting the main sheet on, I was pretty happy with myself, so it was time for the top piece. I struggled with the pillowcases as I fast-forwarded this next bit to show you. So I did what every smart man would do, and I found the cheapest labor I could. That was the best 50 cents I ever spent. After putting some sheets on and getting some nice pillows, making it look presentable, it was time to give it a test run. It passed the quality assurance test, which meant it was time for the final piece of the build. Drive it to a scenic location for a photo shoot. Let's go. Alright, after some teasers, it's time for the finale of the world's greatest mini MPV, mini people mover, camper conversion you will find on the internet. The Toyota Sienta, an absolute weapon. Let's open her up and let's check it out. There were some sneak peeks, but this is the finished product, so let's dive in. We've got the driver's seat in the sleeping position, so it's up forward, and we've got the bed in sleeping, well, we've got the bed in the sleeping position. So let's jump in there and let's get cozy. Beautiful, beautiful, windy, rainy weather right now. But check this out. You wouldn't read about it in here. I've got 188 centimeters to lay down and spread out. Check this side. Absolutely spacious. Oh, I need to drive now. Well, that might be a problem, seeing as we can't even get in the front seat. Check this out. Oh no, how am I meant to drive in here? Well, we thought about that. Dive on in. We got pillows galore, soft, comfortable. Let's get them out the way. Oh, what's this? Removable piece. Oh my God, the most ingenious invention ever. Patent this. Jack. Open up. Down she goes. Mattress light as a feather. Down there. And in. What do we got now? Space. Crack a jack. And there we go. We've got a driver's seat position. We hop on in. Camera is, look at this, space for days. How about it? The most beautiful camper conversion. We've got storage galore underneath. Look at her in all her beauty. From one of the most beautiful places in the world, even when it's windy, even when it's rainy, we've got beautiful views like this. This is all over New Zealand, North Island, South Island. We've got greenery this time of year, beautiful colours in the trees. That is it for this video. I hope you enjoyed this camper conversion. I think it was absolutely brilliant, and I think this is an absolute gem of a vehicle. So if you enjoyed it, subscribe to the channel. Stay tuned for more adventures coming soon in this thing. More hiking, more camping, potentially more van conversions, who knows? But yeah, it's going to be a good day when you've got this guy in your corner. So thank you so much for watching. If you watched all the way through, I really, really appreciate it, and stay tuned for more adventures here